Morning, Jackie. We are back again for a little bit of a chat on property management and investing. How have you been?
Yes, good, good. Hopefully my picture and everything's okay. I was just explaining that over the weekend one of my computer screens got broken, so I'm on the iPhone, but we've got there in the end.
Yeah, nothing is worse than a broken or damaged computer, that's for sure. Now,
Yes.
I wanted to have a chat to you to maybe also find out whether it's happening over in Queensland as it is in WA and see how you're managing this. But we have definitely found an increase in owner financial stress. So
Mm,
yes, to new owners and new investors, but also to some really sort of seasoned investors where normally there isn't such a panic when it comes to their owner payments and making sure they come through in time, and just really financially needing that payment. I even had a landlord the other day message me and just say, Ash, when you do your payment, my owner payment this month, can you please not take out any bills because I'm finding it really financially tough this month.
yeah,
And it came to my attention this month. We had a big owner payment to do in a bank file, and I couldn't do it in time because I had to increase my daily limit on my corporate banking. And so it was
yes,
really just difficult to work out how to do that. Anyway, the payments were due to be transferred yesterday. Couldn't get hold of corporate banking to upgrade this limit. Managed to do it this morning, which is the 1st of May, and can get that transfer done. But so many owners have emailed us this morning just to say,
yes,
when's that money going to come through? So,
yeah.
like, is that happening to you? And what are those conversations looking like?
Yeah, I am noticing probably in the last 6 months, it's definitely increased to what it was a couple of years ago. There was more ease with it where it wasn't as much pressure. I actually had a similar, trust account limit issue and it was delayed. And I did get a lot of text messages and emails saying, hey, is the tenant in arrears or the payment didn't come through yesterday? So I think with like cost of living, everything has gone up in terms of like rates. I was just appalled. We did our council rates because they're due on the 15th of May. And for a house in granny flat, you're talking about 1,500 to 1,600 a quarter, which includes water. And a standard house is up around $1,000 a quarter in Logan now. So it's yeah, everything has gone up a lot. And I know a lot of people are struggling.
$1,000 a quarter for some of the rates.
Oh yeah, easily. If they use a lot of water, it can be 1,200 a quarter. Yeah, it's insane.
Wow. Wow.
Very
The
expensive.
Yeah, the I think we've got a lot of people, a lot of investors that have come into the industry super excited because the rents are good and all of this, and they've really underestimated the maintenance, the bills, and all of that, and
Yeah.
it feels like everything hits you at once.
Mm,
We're in May. We are on the lead up. I don't know about Queensland, but in July generally is when the council rates get issued. In WA, you have the option of them being paid in full for a very small discount. I'm not bothered by that discount. It's not enough to pay it in full, if that makes sense. But you can also do it in 2 installments and 4 installments. So something that should be very, the forefront of everyone's minds is that over the next 3 months, you are going to have those rates. So maybe you can start preparing for that, putting just a little bit aside. Potentially, you could even look at prepaying some of that before July so you can include it in your tax return. There's a couple of things that you can do there, but my biggest tip for landlords that definitely are financially finding themselves under a bit of pressure is, I mean, not that this is financial advice, but don't be hasty and think that you've got to sell the property quickly because, and make a hasty decision, because I definitely am seeing some owners go, I'm just going to sell it. And it's like,
mm,
if that's the option that you need, absolutely, like you do whatever suits your financial circumstances. But if it's just that, uncomfortable situation, maybe just try for the next 3 months, just really having some planning and being in touch with the rent and your expenses, just in case, like I'd really hate for someone to regret selling a property by making a hasty decision just because it's feeling really tough right now, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Um,
really important that you have a plan with what the investment's going to do and what life cycle you want that to have, and figuring out a way. There's always like buffers you can put in place. Not financial advice, but you might consider doing a refinance just to have that equity sitting off the loan so that you have it accessible if you need the cash. There's all different types of things. And also the other one is like ask for a pay rise or increase your salary elsewhere to alleviate that pressure. So I think you don't want it to get to the point where it's in stress zone, but having those conversations early so that you're prepared for it, because it's the most expensive time, in a very like probably 50-year cycle that we're in at the moment. So you got to have those precautions in place as a landlord. Yeah.
And like you said, maybe it is a matter of looking at your personal budget at home and
Yeah.
going, hey, the investment property is a little bit prickly right now. Here's what else we can do. So, I mean, I'm the first to, I always say this. I remember 3 years ago, I used to have a weekly blow dry booked in for my hair, and I used to get my lashes done every 2 weeks. And I used to, you know what I mean, like book in for like a massage or a facial once a month. Like I used to do that. I don't do it now
Mm,
because I had to sacrifice that for food, for example.
yeah.
But it's I think it's really important to talk about those things because it does affect everyone, and we all sacrifice in different ways. So for me, I've sacrificed those personal things to allow me to be freed up in other areas. Maybe that's a priority for someone, and so they
Mm,
change that, but they're happy to change going out, or you know what I mean. Like we've all got those different priorities, and I think investing and your financial future should be something to really prioritize. So if you can make it work, like push through it, is
yeah.
my thoughts.
And fingers crossed for interest rate decreases coming this year. I think we're all feeling that, especially if you got multiple loans, seeing the interest payments like, oh, we're only paying $30 off the actual principal because the interest rates are so high. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a full on time, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think we're coming back to, the inflation's going down. So that's positive.
Do you have owner portals that they can log
Yes.
to in your office? What
Yeah, yeah.
software do you use?
We use Console Cloud, but we're moving to Property Me actually tomorrow.
Yay.
Yay.
Property Me is really good. It's I actually I mean, don't quote me on this, but I heard that if Property Me is a very popular trust software that a lot of agents and property managers use in Australia. And I heard that if you're a landlord and you've got like a property in Queensland and a property in Perth, and they
Yeah.
both use Property Me, that your owner portal is linked.
Correct. Yes. I just had a client the other day that, yeah, he is able to integrate it with Property Me. Not that we've changed over yet, but he confirmed that because he's obviously has two at the moment. But you'll probably find that being the most popular software. You can monitor most of your portfolio through there.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, if you were looking for a property manager and you were weighing up like two or three options and they were all the same, you didn't know which one to choose from. It was like any, mini, miny, mo. Maybe just check what software they use, because if there is the ability for them to be using the same, that could be like for an owner to manage. I think that'd be really good. And that was, I guess, the final thing that I wanted to say as well, is that if you are finding yourself in a prickly situation, use your owner portal to keep an eye on what funds are sitting in your account. Generally, it's in real time. So the minute that rent gets receipted, you see it in
Yeah.
your account, like it's not paid to you, but in your real estate account. And you can sort of even if you check that like 1 week before your payouts due, it will give you an idea, okay, this much is coming through and this is what I'm going to need to top up. Or maybe you can see a pending bill in there and you might call your property manager and say, actually, can I pay that on my credit card? so I can get the full funds. So, you could maybe just like keeping an eye on it is
Yeah.
probably one of my other opinions and tips. Sometimes it's about mentally preparing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's mind over matter. But know that a lot of owners, like all over the country, are going through similar things. So I think it's a very temporary period when you look at the investment journey. And yeah, a lot of people are feeling it at the moment too.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions in regards to sort of what we talked about today, or just need any further advice, feel free to comment on this video or reach out to Jackie or I, and we will be able to maybe give you a little bit more guidance or peace of mind or any tips as well. See you,
Yeah.
Jackie.
Have a good day. See ya. Bye.